Hello, back. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Is, where words do come to life. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you too can know when I upload new videos. So I want to talk about, you know, I'm still on the Cook County jail thing. I even address Statesville because what we dealing with is across the board. It ain't just Cook County. It happens in Statesville. It happens everywhere. We see the stories. We hear the stories. So why do we have to wait till something tragic happen inside those walls before they are addressed? Why? Help me to understand that. But here's what I want to say. When families can afford private attorneys, they can be quite costly. We're talking about $350 an hour. We're talking about $5,000 retainer fees to fight for your life, to fight for your innocence. And we think this is okay. And so our system is set up to stall. And the stalling mechanism, to me, is to get those individuals to break, or to say, because they so desperately want to get out, even though they didn't do it, they want to get out, they will take the plea bargaining. And then those attorneys who's in it for the money, to collect the money, to put the family in financial stresses and strains, they'll tell their clients, I think this is a good deal. You should go ahead and take it. And not be honest and truthful with them and say, no, you're innocent. We're going to see this through until the end. But then when you stand before a judge, and instead of looking at you as a human being, as I've said before, they look at you at the color of your skin. And because we wear certain skin tones, we're already classified as criminals. We're already classified as bad guys. And white folks do just as much crime. But why do you place us in the bucket of criminals when white folks do, again, as I said, do just as much? And so now these individuals are sitting inside these walls. Some of them know what to do and some of them don't know what to do. And if they don't have no guidance, they've never been in this situation before, they're fearful. They know they are innocent, but the attorney who their mother, their grandmother, or their family members have got together and they're paying for is advising them to take this plea bargain so they can get rid of the case and collect the money. How does that work? Or they don't have money and they are provided a public defender who is overloaded and overworked. I watched a Zoom of a court proceeding, and the gentleman didn't have all the information of the case, and the public defender was sitting on Zoom rolling her eyes. I mean, she was just rolling them. And then she said, I did provide him with the information. Well, if the man who's locked up say you didn't provide, so you all believe the public defender, because they do lie too. We've seen this played out. They lie too. If my caseload is on overload, I'm trying to close as many cases as I can. Not realizing when you don't do your job, you're affecting not only just the person who's sitting inside of there, you're affecting the family as well. Now again, I'm going to make this disclaimer so you all can be really clear. I understand that there are individuals out here who do live a life of crime. I get that. I understand that wholeheartedly. But we have a system that throws people away. We throw them away. We have a system that because of your color of skin, you're already judged and you're already guilty before the evidence is even shown that you're innocent. And this has been played out over and over across this land and country. The Trayvon Martin case, when George Zimmerman felt that he was right in killing that child who had a hoodie on his head and some Skittles. You thought you was judge and jury to take somebody's life because he was walking down the street. That was not your call. Then they cleared him. Clearly he killed them. And then later on down the line, he ended up getting into it with other individuals, and he ended up being abusive to his wife. But nobody came back and said anything about that. Scales of justice are not balanced. None whatsoever. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture? See, white folks can call and they can say a black man or a black woman did this, and they words will hold weight. But let a black person call. You probably won't get no result for about a good 30 minutes, and you'll probably have to call 10 to 20 times before somebody to show up. This system is totally screwed up. It really is. It's backwards. And I'm not saying all white people are that way, but the ones that are make everybody else look bad. And it's from all walks of life, from the judges to the state's attorney to the public defenders. It's across the board. Records have been manipulated and changed just so they can get a conviction. And then later on down the line, 20 years later, you find out that they was not the individual who committed the crime. So now you think that the money that you pay them, that they done lost 20 years of their life for a wrongful conviction, and we think this is okay. We think this is okay. We don't look at the history of nobody. We classify people, we stamp them and make them something that they not, and that's not your call. You're supposed to look at the evidence first before you stamp somebody as a threat to society. Again, white folks are just as, look at Columbine. It wasn't a black man who went through Columbine, it was a white person who went through Columbine. But yet and still, we are the criminals determined by white people. And then in our courts, most of our judges that's convicting us and make us guilty when we're not is white judges. Because again, you don't see the truth. You see a black man, a Hispanic man is standing before you that somebody said they committed a crime and they had to have committed that crime. But a white person who walks down the street with an assault rifle and shoot two of their own kind on video gets to go home on bond. There's something wrong with this picture, and we think it's okay. So again, for every mayor, for every governor, for every alderman, for every state representative, for every board president in your particular city or state, and for every sheriff that's over your local county jails, for every commissioner, and for every public private attorney, you all are accountable for the lives that you let go to jail for things that they did not commit, or for those who have been in there for self-defense, or they have their conceal and carry, and you negate the conceal and carry because they're a black person. See, you all are trying to break the family when you take the black man. Again, it's modern day slavery. The same thing they used to do back then. Take the black man from the home, put him on an auction block and sell him. Put him down in the lower part of the ship and chain him up. What's the difference now? Because it's the same thing. You all ain't changed anything. You're making money off of it. And that's the part that you like. It's a great investment to lock the ethnic races up. And yours get to go home. So, something you ought to think about. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, leave a notification, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Let's talk about it. I'm sure there's plenty of you all out there who've experienced what I've just talked about. And it's a shame on this system in which we call the United States of America, because ain't nothing about this country is united. It's one-sided. It's black versus white. That's all I'm saying.